Ladies and gentlemen, hustlers of all ages, welcome to the Six Figure Playbook with your host, Alan, the Ace Man Dickie.
Top of the morning, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is where you're listening. I'm your host, Alan Dickie, aka the Ace Man, and I want to welcome you back to this week's episode of the Six Figure Playbook podcast. You know, it's amazing. Today's one of those days where literally I'm about to step inside a dealership where I'm going to be spending the rest of the day. Super excited about that. But we're recording this week's episode live on location. I'm actually in my truck right now with about 20 minutes to spare to get this information in this episode into your hands, into your ears, to all my listeners out there. And I think it's a wonderful example yet again to say, hey, we're always busy. We've always got things going on, and that should never hold us back from getting what we need to get done. And one of the things that we need to get done over here at Alan Dickie Inc. headquarters is we got to make sure we're getting that podcast out to all of you six-figure performers. So with that being said, I want to get right into this week's episode. And this week's episode is titled, Let Me Check My Schedule. Yes, that's right. Let me check my schedule. This is so funny. I'm going to give you a bit of a story here. Just a few days ago, you know, one of the things I love doing is I love golfing, okay? You talk about work hard, play hard. I work crazy. I mean, I'm 100% wherever I am. I'm going to be 100% at work, 100% with my wife, 100% with my kids, 100% with my family. But also, when I carve out a little bit of time to have some fun, and golfing is one of those things I love doing, I'm going to be 100% on the golf course, although that doesn't always translate into a great score. But never mind. The reason I share this with you is because I got an email a few days ago, and you know, there's this group of guys. We'll go on these golf trips once, twice a year. We get away for a few days. We play a few rounds of golf, have a lot of fun. Bunch of great, hardworking guys. It's a really good time, not only to play some golf, but just to get to interact. Again, man sharpens man and steel sharpens steel. You always want to make sure that you're pouring time and energy into circles of individuals that are going to deliver value to your life. And that's what these, trips do. Over and above, feed, my desire to play golf as often as I can. But here's the thing. There was an invitation to a weekend, a little mini golf trip, in the summertime. It's the summertime as I'm recording this, right? And there was an invitation, and one of the guys, a good buddy of mine, he wrote back to the email. He said, I'll have to check my schedule and get back to you. And when I read that at first, it really reminded me of something, and this is why this episode is titled, Let Me Check My Schedule. Because when I first read that, I thought to myself, oh, okay, there you go, shooter, right? There's that guy, there's that person, oh, you're so busy, you gotta check your schedule, right? Because this is how I used to think about something like that. If I heard somebody say, well, I need to check my schedule, I always looked at them and I thought to myself, well, boy, don't you think you're important, right? Well, the funny thing is, even in addition to that, as a side story to the story, I remember, as I was growing up and I didn't have, a wife and kids, my parents would always be saying, hey, son, we'd love to have dinner with you 3 weeks from now on this particular day at this particular time. And I always would look at them. I'm like, you guys are crazy, man. Like, I'm a single guy, no children, no nothing. I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow, never mind 3 weeks from now. And so I always thought, people who were so rigid with existing or living their lives to this schedule, I thought, gosh, that's not something I want to do. Well, let me get back to my golf buddy. He says, let me check my schedule. Well, as I started to experience those thoughts and emotions that, in all of us, I think they can be ingrained from years past, I was immediately reminded that scheduling is probably the number one most important thing you can do in your life, in your career, when you're looking to attain these ridiculous six-figure incomes, okay? These performances. And so it had me really think to myself, and I realized if anybody is operating in their life, in their career, or in their business without a schedule, you're not doing it right. And this is the message that I really want to drive home to all of you today, okay? You see, what I find, especially in the car business, and that is what I call home, that is where, my career started as a 20-year-old. I developed performing at all positions in the dealership. I've since, for the last, what are we at now? 8.5 years, been taking these abilities and training and developing sales teams across the globe, But what I've come to realize is if you're not scheduling your time, if you're not planning your work and working your plan, you're kidding yourself. And in this business, in the car business, what so many do is they work by priority. And I want to express to all of you how dangerous this is. When I say work by priority, we show up to our careers every single day and we just accept that it's a hurricane, right? That so much is going to be going on. Different challenges that we haven't even thought of or anticipated for a given day are going to pop up in our lives. And so we show up to work every day, or a lot of us, in my experience, have been showing up to work every day, and you just accept that it's always going to be busy. There's always going to be things coming at you. So you just work on the most important thing, and you work by priority. You keep banging out the most important thing, then you go to the next most important thing, and to the next most important thing, etc. Well, while you think this is doing the job, what this really leads to is it leads to a bunch of, leaders, or so they call themselves, that run around like chickens with their heads cut off in the dealership all day. They work 12 hours a day. They never get what they think they need to get done or what they should be getting done. And yet they seem like the busiest people on planet Earth. And what I've come to find and what I want to share with you on this episode is the importance of being the person to say, hold on, let me check my schedule. You see, when you're scheduling what you need to get accomplished, you're really able to see, and take an acute look at what amount of time is going to be required to get what you want to get done. Let me change that verbiage, to get what you're going to get done, right? If you continue to work, your life by priority, just waking up every day and seeing what you can get accomplished based on, how big the fire is that you need to put out, you're really robbing yourself of opportunity. You're robbing yourself of opportunity because you keep fooling yourself, thinking that you're too busy to do more, when in all actuality, you could probably get done everything that you're getting done in half the time. So I want this to be a quick message to all of you. If you are not operating by a schedule, you are not doing it right, and you will be in no danger of attaining the six-figure performances and incomes that you want and deserve in your career. The way you're going to do it is you must be scheduled. You must know exactly how much time you have available to accomplish the tasks that need to be accomplished, and then you need to budget the right amount of time for each task to ensure that they will get accomplished. This not only is going to have you producing more, but it's also going to provide you with, deadlines. You're going to realize that there are time constraints. You're going to realize that you don't have time to share the jokes with those coworkers in the dealership, that you only have an hour allocated this morning for that particular activity, and you must pour out all of your time and energy for that hour into that activity. And the fact is, you don't have time to crack jokes and drink coffees with the other guys on your sales floor. Folks, if you are not scheduling every minute of your day in your life, you're not doing it right, and you're wasting, that's right, wasting a ton of valuable time, not only for your careers, but for your families as well. Folks, plan everything. You do need to schedule time for your significant other. You do need to schedule time to spend with your children if you have them. And you do need to spend time, scheduling time, for your business or your career. So that's my message today. My friend who sent that email out earlier this week regarding the golf trip, when he said, hey, I got to check my schedule and get back to you, man, did that ever open my ears and my mind up to something that I took for granted. The fact of the matter is, myself, as a husband, as a father, as a family man, as a business owner, as an employer, I have a multitude of responsibilities, and there's a multitude of hats that I wear. And every single person in my life, from my wife to my children, to my friends, to my family, to my employees, to my coworkers, all of them deserve 100% of me when they need it. And the only way that's possible for me is through effectively scheduling every single minute of my day, of my life, to ensure that they're all taken care of. Not only that, but to also ensure that I'm getting out on the golf course when the time permits. Folks, that's my message this week. I want to encourage all of you, head over to my website, alandickie.com, and get my app. It's a web-based app you can download to your phone. Doesn't take up any memory, but it's loaded not only with this podcast, but a bunch of other amazing content, blogs, articles, and information that is sure to make you some additional revenue and sales today, this week, this month, guaranteed. Also, I want to thank everybody out there who has been taking advantage of my ACE lead generation course. I really love getting all of these emails and the responses from all of you of how successful it's been for you and how it's paid for itself within the same 3 days of acquiring the information. That's always awesome to hear. And if you're looking for information on that, to any of you that haven't taken advantage of it, simply go to www.alandickie.com/lead generation and you'll be able to check it out and pick up the course for yourself as well. It truly is a game changer. So with that being said, start scheduling, everybody. I look forward to seeing all of you next week. Make it a great day. And until then, this is Alan Dickie, a.k.a. the Ace Man, over and out.